So the United Kingdom and the European Union have completed their divorce 4 years after voting for Brexit. And South Africa has now started trading under 2 new bilateral partnership agreements. The pacts will ensure exports continue seamlessly to the UK, one of South Africa's largest trading partners. It will also cover African countries under the Free Trade Agreement and the Southern African Customs Union. To discuss this, I'm joined via Skype from Pretoria by Nigel Casey, the UK's High Commissioner to South Africa. Thank you very much for your time this evening. So in light of the UK's exit from the EU, new economic partnership agreements between the Southern African Customs Union, Mozambique and the UK were signed in October. Were those agreements, have they been fully ratified by all parties and put firmly in place?
Yes, they came into force on the 1st of January, having been ratified by all parties to the agreement. I'm really delighted about this. When I arrived here in South Africa nearly 4 years ago, this was my #1 priority, and I'm really pleased to see it in force.
And what does that mean for goods exported from South Africa to the UK?
Well, in practice, it means that 96% of all South African goods exports to the UK are able to enter the UK market tariff-free. And even on the 4%, which are not wholly tariff-free, South Africa has secured generous headroom, so there is room for growth in exports to the UK in some of your most iconic exports like wine. And if you want to know what the value of that looks like, you just look at the stats for agricultural exports in 2020, which have shown really impressive growth despite all the gloom around COVID.
So the provisions of the new agreement have specific bearing on automotive value chains between SACEM, the UK and the EU. How will this trade sector be protected?
Well, this is a particularly complex area where you've got triangular supply chains between countries in the EU, the UK and South Africa. And we know this is really important to the South African economy and to particular companies like Ford, who have operations in all 3 places. That's why we agreed provisions in the UK SACU agreement to protect those value chains. We also pushed the EU as hard as we possibly could to extend those same provisions to the UK-EU agreement to ensure no change from the current arrangements. That wasn't, unfortunately, possible, but it's now up to South Africa to pursue that discussion directly with the EU. As I say, we recognise the importance of these supply chains to the South African manufacturing economy.
So the UK is one of South Africa's largest trading partners. What new opportunities can South African manufacturers and businesses look forward to under this agreement?
Well, as I mentioned already, there is already headroom in the current agreement for growth in some of the very few areas where there are tariff rate quotas remaining in force. But beyond that, and this is a dynamic agreement, it's got inbuilt provisions to try and improve it, to expand it, and use it to grow trade between our countries. So now that we've got this in force and we're making sure it's being implemented smoothly, we're going to start looking to the future and sitting down with South African and other colleagues in the region and asking where we can build on it.
So the past year has been a time of great uncertainty globally and here in South Africa, not only in terms of our economy, but also in terms of this global pandemic. How essential is fluidity and continuity in terms of trade agreements to economic stability and growth?
Look, I think it's been really important, and as I say, if you look at where the growth has been in the South African economy in a really difficult COVID-affected year in 2020, the agricultural exporting sector really stands out. And one of the things I'm proud that we managed to do in 2020 was to keep cargo flows going, keep air freight going, even when passengers were unable to travel. So it's really important that we sustain that in 2021. As we and South Africa are going through another really tough phase of this battle against COVID.
Well, thanks again for speaking to us. That was Nigel Casey, the UK's High Commissioner to South Africa.